26 public universities are expected to participate in nationwide shutdown starting today. This comes after talks between the South African Union of Students and the Higher Education Department broke down over the weekend. Now, the shutdown is a continuation of ongoing protests by students against financial exclusion. They're demanding the clearing of all historical debt, the allocation of funds for all first-time students, and an extension to university registrations until April. They say no learning or teaching will take place until all of their demands are met. Let's get you the latest on the story now. We're joined by the South African Union of Students NEC member, Mxolisi Ngcamphalala in Pretoria. Mxolisi, good morning. Thanks for your time this morning on the AM report. I think one of the big questions, certainly if we look at the numbers from last Friday's protest, given that you're calling for a total shutdown today, do you think you'll have the numbers to support that?
Good morning to yourself and also the viewers at home. Thank you for having the union. Firstly, we would like to state it clear that these resolutions were not just taken by the Executive Committee of the Union alone. It was taken together with 26 universities present. Their SRC presidents and SGs were all present, and they all committed that there is going to be an effective shutdown, effective from today. So as a union, we are actually expecting that we are going to have a successful shutdown, and in fact, we are calling upon all students, effective from now, that they must go to campuses, to their residences, so that they can be able to participate and ensure that the shutdown is successful. Because these are genuine issues that we're raising, and they affect them personally, they affect their brothers and sisters, and we expect even the entire nation to rally behind our call. So indeed, we expect a successful shutdown from today until our demands are met.
Mxolisi, you know, part of what makes a national shutdown effective is the ability to halt teaching and learning at our higher education institutions. That's going to be difficult today, given, for example, at Wits University, where online learning is starting today. So, you know, how are you going to stop teaching and learning, make your demands sort of more heard?
You must understand that it is students that are actually being given this online learning or who participate in it. So if lecturers want to sit alone in their own rooms and lecture themselves, they can do that, they can present do it, but it's not going to be effective in any way. And when we resume classes, they are going to again go through those lectures that they will be giving themselves, because we expect that even lecturers, vice chancellors, and all managers in universities need to understand that this is a national call, a call that speaks to the future of this country, a call that speaks to the future of individual students, and even their own future as lecturers depends on the outcome of this shutdown. So therefore, we expect that there should be maximum cooperation from everybody. But those that will be arrogant and will want to proceed with lecturers online, they are going to restart them again and come back, because we are going to be successful in our shutdown. And we must also make this very clear that our call is not only just, only populist. It is based on genuine issues. For instance, you can't, as a Department of Education, decide overnight that you are going to cut funding for postgraduate studies, including PGCE and other qualifications, without even consulting the student leaders. In our view, there is generally apparent a phobia from the department to engage student leaders. And that is why the union gave them until Friday to respond in writing. They failed to do that. And instead, they sent the deputy minister to come to us with yes or no, true or false answers. And we felt respected. We felt that they are being condescending to us. We felt patronized, and we felt undermined. And even as we speak now, they have not written to us as a union, but all that you are seeing are posts on Facebook. Imagine, my sister, someone, yourself, raising issues in writing, formally, professionally, to someone, and the person decides to respond on social media. That on its own marks of serious arrogance and patronization on the side of the department. And all that we are saying as a union is that students and everybody that's involved in this regard must cooperate and ensure that there is no teaching and learning and anything happening today in universities. And I think that we're on course to do that. And as we said before, that all students across the country are expected, and we're giving them instruction as leadership that they must go back to residencies and participate in this process action.
Yeah.
And of course...
Sorry to come in there, Mxolisi. Are you responding as well to what the Department of Higher Education released late yesterday in a statement in terms of the demand that historical debt be scrapped? The department saying that it is in fact not in a position, it's not in a financial position to do that. Let me just read an excerpt from the statement. It says, the Department of Higher Education and Training is not in a financial position to be able to support institutions to clear all student debt of fee-paying students. And they talk about various issues they're contributing to that, among them the COVID-19 pandemic. Is there still a conversation to be had here, given that the Department of Higher Education has already, you know, it's said its part in terms of historical debt and that issue?
My sister, you recall that as we speak, the historic debt stands at 18 billion. And it is not, in fact, enough just to clear students to register, in as much as we call for it as a union. Because we understand that if you clear the student to register, the student is going to have the debt accumulating in the university. So what we are calling for is that there should be a total clearance of all student debt, so that students are not burdened with debt upon their graduation, so that students are not going to have a problem of blacklisting and other issues that are going to happen. Remember, as black children, by the way, who are also expected to pay what we call the black tax. So the department is singing a chorus that we are used to this tune of it, and we are not going to respond the way that they expected to respond. Remember, my sister, even back in 2015, when we were raising issues of free education, free quality decolonized education, at the time, we were taught about the same chorus by the very same minister, and we know how it resulted. And in fact, even now, we're expecting that if this chorus is being sung by the minister perpetually, we're not going to dance to this tune. We are going to ensure that they find the money to ensure that this is being cleared. Because, my sister, they've taken money out of the sector, prioritized it elsewhere. For instance, how do you take money from education and put it to, perhaps, to save SAA? We can't do that. A majority of students do not even use flights, by the way. So what we're expecting is that they must go and take back the money that was removed from the sector and ensure that they clear this debt. And if they are not going to do it, we're not going to stop the shutdown. And remember, this is a fundamental objective of ensuring that we have the shutdown, to remove the burden that is upon or which has become an albatross in the neck of our students. And on top of that, my sister, you must remember that the pandemic in each and every department, or people were given resources that were responding as some form of relief as brought about by the pandemic. So we saw 350 given to people. We saw even the Department of Health getting more money to procure PPEs and so on and so forth. But nothing actually came to education. And the minister, as far as we are concerned, was unable to advocate for students in this country. That is why, even as we speak now, he has not been able to roll out the laptops across students. There is no NSFAS student that has been given a laptop, because the minister has mastered the art of defending himself, the art of hiding behind treasury, the art of hiding behind so many excuses. And we're tired of that. All that you are saying from the minister and the department is that we are expecting them to go find money and take back the money that was removed from the department so that they can clear the issue of student debt. And remember, my sister, we were actually, as student leaders, very clear from the beginning, even as far as 2015, to say, this is how we expect, or how we expect government to raise money. And they even increased VAT by 1%, and they said that money is going to fund education. But now we're not finding that happening on the ground, and we expect to see it happening.
Mxolisi Ngcamphalala in Pretoria, thanks for your time this morning. He's from the South African Union of Students, calling there for students from all 26 public universities to join this total shutdown that is set down for today. Thanks for your time on the show.